Venus. So many stars floating on the edge of infinity. In Manchester, it wasn't very often you saw the night sky in all its star-studded glory, but it was enough to stir a deep longing inside me. Even as others cowered beneath Nazi air raids, I was out there, watching the skies, dreaming of one day reaching the heavens. There were, of course, more practical concerns. My skin was incredibly sensitive. Even the slightest bit of sun would turn it an angry shade of red. Playing outside during the day was completely out of the question. Naturally, I hardly ever had a chance to play with other children my age. But I never felt lonely for it. Their way of thinking was irrational, making them simple, easy to predict. The boys would talk of tanks and aeroplanes and creepy, crawly bugs. The girls of pretty dresses, glass beads, and tea and cakes. Of boys they liked. I never had much to say on such matters. The curious thing is, adults really aren't all that different. They're simple, capricious, especially men. As they get older, their heads fill with thoughts of women and more women. Thankfully, I always did have a head for mathematics. When I was about 10, I'd visited Dr. Turing, who lived nearby. We'd sit and discuss mathematical logic. The lights were always on at his house, even in the dead of night. Theoretically, he'd say, there's no algorithm that a computing machine couldn't reproduce. Dr. Turing wasn't foolish like other men, although I didn't find out why until later, after he died. The time will come, he'd say, when computers will be able to think for themselves. That idea rocked me to my core. My aptitude for mathematics brought me closer to the stars. I breezed through school, then went to America for university. While I was studying at Caltech, NASA was established. I signed up in a heartbeat. I was a pretty good computer engineer at the time, and NASA needed skills like mine. The work was enjoyable. Even though I'd given up on going into space myself, it was a pleasure just being a part of it all. I was assigned to Project Mercury, America's effort to compete with the Soviets in manned spaceflight. 7 men were chosen as pilot candidates for the program, becoming heroes overnight. People called them the Mercury 7. The project made good progress, more or less. We had all the funds and materials we needed. After countless hours of analysis, we even had plans for something on par with Sputnik. We thought it'd only be a matter of time before we caught up with the Russians. They'd sent a dog into orbit and brought it back safely to Earth. But NASA top brass dismissed that success as a fluke. The Americans recovered their re-entry capsules at sea, but the only ocean bordering the Soviet Union is the Arctic, so their re-entry capsules had to make impact on land. A dog was one thing, but human spaceflight would still take some time, or so we thought. At the end of January 1961, we successfully put a chimpanzee named Ham into orbit. He returned to Earth as healthy as ever. NASA was giddy with success. It was then that a new woman showed up for duty. She was a backup pilot and advisor. She was beautiful, with blonde hair, strong mouth, and a steely gaze. But there was something else in those eyes, a twinkle of something warmer, of affection. It was the boss. She took one look at us in our revelry and murmured, "Savor this joy today, because tomorrow you'll have to face the truth." And she was right. The next day, our project schedule was accelerated. We'd received new information that the Soviets were mere months away from putting a man into space. The brass had misjudged the Russians. We couldn't afford to allow the shock of another Sputnik. Somehow, we had to get a man into space before the Russians did. It was an utterly impossible task. We'd only just put our first chimp up. With a human on board, failure was not an option, especially if it were one of the Mercury 7 Golden Boys. And on top of that, the brass wanted to put a window in the spacecraft. The pilot wouldn't be a test animal this time, they said, and when this hero came back alive and well, they wanted him to describe what he'd seen. It was madness. Adding a window to our existing spacecraft would leave it unable to handle the stress, not to mention the problem of shielding the occupant from cosmic rays. But the boss rose to the task, and splendidly. She claimed to be a layman when it came to space, but caught on keenly to new ideas and concepts. She was demanding, of herself and of others. She seemed rather cold-hearted at times, but I was smitten. She was beautiful, yes, but more than that, she was wise. Her mind was thoroughly rational, and yet no matter how I tried, I could never predict her actions. It was easy for me to assume that her judgments were drawn from an enormous base of knowledge. Quite simply, her life experiences were more diverse, more intense than anyone else's. To me, they seemed boundless in their breadth. In her, I saw a reflection of the night sky. Perhaps because I too was a woman, she and I became close. I couldn't go out in the sun, but she lit up my life. Her light was soft, like that of the moon. I was so happy. With her unerring guidance, the project steadily regained its footing. But one issue remained, the pilot's safety. When the day came to choose a pilot, the Mercury 7 just quietly walked out. Who could blame them? It was far too great a risk to take. Even if they'd volunteered, NASA would never have let them go. They were national heroes, basking in the media spotlight. There was no way they'd be sent on such a mission. The conference room was silent. Then, slowly, she raised her hand, almost as if acting out a scene from a movie. I spoke out against her going, submitting a report stating the ray shielding was inadequate. But the brass's response was brusque. She's already been exposed to a nuclear test in Nevada. She's the perfect candidate. It was completely irrational. Repeated exposure to radiation would only increase the danger. But the government was still reeling from the Soviet success with Sputnik. There was no hope of getting a rational response. They were simply too panicked. People can be so obtuse when it comes to things they can't see. I, however, understood all too well. Just as invisible ultraviolet radiation scorched my skin, heavy particle radiation from space would cause irreparable harm to human tissue. In a word, she was expendable. It was during the boss's pre-flight checkup that I noticed something strange on the X-ray of her skull. Part of the right hemisphere of her brain was damaged. It seemed inexplicable, given her keen intelligence and amazing physical prowess, but there it was, and I decided to report it. I hoped that perhaps my discovery of a physical defect would result in the flight being cancelled. But as I went to make my report, she stopped me. "Why?" I demanded. "How can you let yourself be their guinea pig?" Ignoring my protests, she took me up to the roof of the lab. The night sky was ablaze with stars. It was there that I learned how she had wounded her head. 1943, Los Alamos. She was serving with the Special Forces when she received new orders. A German spy had infiltrated the Manhattan Project, which aimed to build the world's first atomic bomb. She was to eliminate him. His name was John von Neumann, a mathematician with superhuman computational abilities and the designer of the explosive lens. The Manhattan Project was a top national priority, security accordingly tight. The guards couldn't be allowed to know what was going on. She'd have to slip past them and make the death look like an accident. It should have been an easy enough mission. But just before the operation, she received unexpected news. A new life was growing inside her. She was overcome with joy, and for one brief moment, it clouded her judgment. She accidentally got into a shootout with the guards, and without thinking, protected her belly. She was shot in the head. The bullet only grazed the surface of her brain, but the tissue around the wound was destroyed, leaving her in a coma. She wasn't given much chance of recovery, but 3 months later, she woke up. Within 6, she was able to move around as if nothing had happened. It was functional compensation. The other parts of her brain took over for the part that was lost. It made logical sense, but such a full recovery was nothing short of a miracle. Perhaps her superhuman willpower made it possible. Or perhaps my body knew it had to survive for the sake of my unborn child. She smiled as she said that. I understand how she must have felt. Some have taken to calling me Ms. Left Lobe, she said, because I'll do anything for the mission. She was tough, yes, but she had feelings too. I knew that better than anyone else. As it turned out, von Neumann wasn't the spy. The assassination order was a deliberate bit of misinformation planted by the Russians. She had been deceived. The Eastern and Western camps were united on one point: opposition to the Nazis. The Allies needed to develop that bomb before Hitler did. But in looking ahead, the Russians found the Manhattan Project's progress a little too quick for their liking. Mass production of a uranium bomb, like the one that was eventually dropped on Hiroshima, would be difficult from a material perspective. But a plutonium bomb, once perfected, could be mass-produced, and eventually even miniaturized. And Moscow did not like the idea of America having that kind of head start. Explosive lens technology was critical to the plutonium design, so the plan was to get rid of its pioneer, von Neumann. And when that plot came to light, the US and the Soviet Union parted ways for good. It was one of the rare cold nights in Florida. She put her arm gently around my shivering shoulders. As I listened to her voice, I was wrapped in her soothing scent. I felt as if I were dreaming. Even in failure, she seemed perfect. Oddly enough, the failed assassination attempt helped preserve America's edge. A true super genius, von Neumann went on to make his mark in numerous fields outside of the Manhattan Project. Economic game theory, stored program computing. Almost all computers today use stored programs, the so-called von Neumann architecture. His death would have set back computing 10 years, and I wouldn't be at NASA doing research. I wouldn't have been there in her arms that night. I thanked the fates for giving me that chance. But then she said something unexpected. I should have killed von Neumann when I had the chance. Why, I asked. Wasn't the order a Soviet plot? I looked up at her as she began to explain. Yes, von Neumann was innocent, and killing the innocent is a grave crime. But I can't help but wonder, had I succeeded, what would the world be like now? Even without von Neumann, the explosive lens would have eventually been developed, von Neumann architecture too. But she seemed to believe that if progress had been put off for a few years, then perhaps East and West would have had a chance to work hand in hand. I'd never considered such a possibility, but her tone was confident, assertive. It was as if she intended to make the two superpowers shake hands herself. The explosive lens was developed too early, spawning a Cold War and an endless nuclear arms race, she continued. That mission sprung from deceit, but maybe it was divine providence too. It was like she was speaking to her own child. Her large, warm hand was on my head. I failed the mission because I let the mother in me take over. I should have killed him, no matter how great the guilt. If I'd killed him, I might not have prevented Hiroshima, but maybe I could have saved everyone in Nagasaki. I looked up at her and saw her looking up too, up at the starry sky. Her face showed only deep remorse. It was as if she'd convinced herself that she alone was responsible for creating this twisted world. But that's no reason for you to sacrifice yourself for this. I knew I'd never dissuade her, and yet I still clung to hope. I know you're concerned, and I thank you, but I have to be loyal to the end. And then she smiled at me. Loyal to the end. Loyal to what? I asked. But she didn't answer. The days that followed were spent training tirelessly for our first space flight. The boss endured conditioning that tested the limits of human capability, and I supported her. Those were happy days. On April 12th, the spacecraft carrying the boss left the Earth's atmosphere. Although it was only 20 minutes of ballistic flight, it was nothing short of miraculous, considering how little time we'd had. The first human in space. We were ecstatic. Then something went wrong. The re-entry angle was slightly off, warping the outer hull. The cause was clear. It was the hastily constructed window we'd installed. Her capsule missed the projected splashdown point by a long shot. As we raced towards the capsule, a breaking news broadcast came over the radio. It was the news report of the successful launch of the Vostok rocket, piloted by the cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin. They'd beaten us into space by the slimmest of margins. When we arrived, the capsule had already disappeared beneath the waves. The boss was floating on the surface. I can't really recall what happened next. They told me later that I gave a strange scream and plunged into the sea, not caring whether my skin would burn. She didn't wake up. Her entire body was bruised, burnt, scorched by cosmic rays. It was a miracle she was still alive. Every day, propaganda boasting of the shining accomplishment flowed out of the Soviet Union. The hardest part was having to read the report the next morning from Izvestia, the Soviet governmental paper. Written there after the report were those legendary words of Major Gagarin: "The Earth is blue." The person who should have said those words, though, was incapacitated, confined to a bed. NASA opted to pretend the flight had never happened. The Soviets had orbited a man around the Earth and returned him safely. We'd barely managed to escape the atmosphere and achieve ballistic flight. Even worse, the pilot was horribly mangled and the spacecraft lost altogether. As they saw it, covering it up was the only alternative to seeing the nation's pride dealt yet another blow. I've been told military records show the boss was taking part in the Bay of Pigs incident at the time. They were that desperate to erase the whole affair. In the end, Alan Shepard's ballistic flight 1 month later became known as America's first spaceflight. Shepard's flight owed its success to insights earned through the boss's sacrifice. But to me, none of that mattered. I prayed day and night for her recovery, never leaving her side, not even for a moment. Then, as summer ended and the chill of winter approached, she spoke. "Give me water." I threw myself on her breast, and she embraced me. It was all I needed. I thought she would tell me about space, the true sky, where the stars don't twinkle. But the only thing she'd speak of was Earth, our home as she'd seen it from space, so fleeting, so irreplaceable. I was ashamed. I'd been enamored for so long with the sky that I never thought to look beneath my feet, at the ground upon which I stood. As soon as her rehab was over, she was gone. It happened without warning. No one informed me, and the higher-ups wouldn't say a word. It wasn't so strange or surprising, really. I simply assumed she was off to complete her next mission, because she was loyal to the end. Since then, I've devoted myself to researching artificial intelligence, so that no one will ever have to make her sacrifice again. No human being should be asked to take on a mission that dangerous. Next time, I'll be the light that shines on someone else. I still wonder why she opened up to me on that chilly night in Florida. That operation was top secret, even if it was all in the past. I like to think it was because she trusted me. But that's probably not the case. She wanted someone to listen. And I don't think that someone was me. Those faraway eyes, the tone of her voice, like she was talking to her own child. Those things made it clear that she was speaking to someone else. I found myself envying that someone. 4 years later, I learned of her death. A traitor's death, no less. She'd stolen an American nuke and defected to the Soviet Union, where she was killed by her former apprentice. Or so I was told. I refused to believe it. She'd never do such a thing. I could think of only two possibilities. Either she really was trying to bring East and West together, or she truly did want to be killed. She believed the world is not the way it's supposed to be, that it's been unbalanced by the tenuous peace offered of nuclear deterrence, and that she was to blame. Perhaps her death was an act of atonement. She was loyal to the end, to our world. And I lost the light of my life. I now find myself victim to an incredibly irrational emotion of my own. That someone, the one she wanted to confess her sin to, could it be the one who took her life? The very thought drives me utterly mad with jealousy. One day, I will discover the truth.
That was quite a warm welcome you gave me at the base in Costa Rica.
Sorry about that. But I simply had to know.
The boss's final act.
Yes, by inputting her thoughts and actions into the AI, I was imbuing it with her mind. The only thing I couldn't understand was her final act.
Operation Snake Eater.
Official history says she betrayed her homeland and defected to the enemy and was killed by you. But it didn't make sense. The boss would be the last person on Earth to betray her country. It was logically inconsistent.
It was, wasn't it?
That internal inconsistency prevented the AI from activating properly. Just as HAL malfunctioned in the film, I understood the reasoning, but I had to have proof. Proof of her final act, her true intentions, one way or another.
So you tried to squeeze it out of me, huh?
As a matter of fact, I did. Your silence was the very answer I was looking for.
That white horse the boss rode.
The Andalusian, yes.
How'd it get to Costa Rica?
I went looking for it. It was her final witness. Even if it couldn't speak, I found it and brought it here.
Where? I thought for sure it'd be blown to ashes by those MiGs.
I searched the ends of the earth for that horse, and found it at last in a horse market in Britain.
Britain? Are you saying it came all the way over the Ural Mountains, through Europe, and across the English Channel?
Who knows, really? Perhaps someone took it there.
Wait, the thought never occurred to you that it might be a different Andalusian that only looks the same?
I can't prove it. Or rather, I couldn't.
What do you mean?
You should know best of all. That horse wouldn't let anyone ride it. And believe me, I nearly killed myself trying. The only one it allowed on its back was you. That was the proof. Though I hate to admit it.
And to think, I ran it to its death.
But in that last run, it regained the glory of its youth, using the last of its strength to pursue its former master. Any horse would wish for such a fine end.
What do you make of Peace Walker's final act?
I recreated her thought patterns exactly. It was exactly what she would have done. The world's most empathetic mind weighed the past, the future, and the entire world, and decided not to retaliate. Merely knowing that is enough for me.
So, what you're saying is, we don't need deterrence to have peace?
I didn't say that. What's important is that we wish for peace. MSF needs a way to protect itself from the might of nations. Survival requires pragmatic thought and action. But you must still retain your ideals. If the gap between reality and those ideals ever leads you to lose them, I doubt MSF will survive.
Strangelove. Is that a code name?
No, just a nickname. Don't tell me you don't recognize it. From Kubrick's Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. It's a film that came out in 1964. A dark comedy about the absurdity of nuclear deterrence.
You were in a movie?
No, stupid. I got my nickname because of that movie.
Why? Because you look like the doctor in the movie?
No, that Dr. Strangelove was a man.
So?
Back when I was at ARPA, I kept a photo of the boss on my desk. I was totally engrossed in my research and showed no interest in the opposite sex. Plus, I had a photo of a woman on my desk. The fools around me turned it into a cruel taunt, calling me Strangelove. Even for a bunch of shut-ins who never went out to the cinema, that title seemed to ring true with them. Anyhow, in their eyes, homosexuality was something strange. They were incapable of seeing things outside the lens of their own standards. Being strange means you have your own unique point of view. I rather considered it an honor.
So, you were with ARPA before you came here, huh?
Yes, back then it was really the only place I could make a living from my AI research.
And before that?
I started out at NASA. That's where I met her.
When Boss went into space?
Yes. It was that incident that turned me away from aerospace engineering. Space is entirely too hazardous a place for human beings. That was why I felt an immediate need to develop AI. As it turned out, rockets later became much safer, and mankind reached the surface of the moon. In any event, it was a hollow Cold War victory. When you get down to it, a nuclear missile is just a rocket with a nuclear warhead strapped to it. Thus, taking the initiative in the space race was tantamount to a military show of force.
But the budgetary strain was too big for Washington or Moscow to handle.
Yes, and then there was the Cuban Missile Crisis and the Vietnam War. And then came détente. Having leapt ahead of the Soviet Union with its moon landing, America shut down the Apollo program in '72. It was around then that ARPA was downsized and renamed DARPA, the D standing for Defense. With few prospects for continuing my AI research, Coldman's invitation was a godsend. It was also a chance to have them collect data on her.
The end result being this mess.
But we did learn something valuable from her. The nobility of peace.
Why'd you agree to come here, to Mother Base?
You intrigued me.
Me? Hold on. You're not planning on modeling your next AI after me.
Not a bad idea, but I have no intention of ever again attempting to transplant human thought into machines.
Oh, that's a relief.
You are the man who inherited the boss's will. You're gathering people around you, even now, shaping them, building a new organization. I'd like to see how it turns out.
You're not planning to go back to AI research?
I never said such a thing. Of course my work will continue.
Here?
In my eyes, the growth of MSF as an organization is analogous to the development of the nervous system. The way you become intertwined, stimulate each other, branch out in new directions, is really quite inspirational.
Interesting way to put it.
Of course, I intend to repay you for your hospitality. The fruits of my research will be at your disposal. Why not assign me to the R&D team? I promise you won't be disappointed.
You know, that ID card I got from Huey wouldn't let me into the lab.
Of course not. I deactivated it.
Why?
As though I'd let him into my lab.
Oh, you don't seem to care for him much, even though you two are in the same field.
Oh, please. For starters, I can't stand that wishy-washy attitude of his. If he's got something to say to me, he should be a man and come say it in person, not write some furtive letter.
But if his card doesn't work, how's he supposed to—
And another thing, the way he always demeans himself. Every other sentence begins with, I could be wrong, but... Why can't he just do what he does and be confident about it?
Well, there was the thing about his dissertation being plagiarized.
The real problem is he doesn't have a whit of independence in him. In Costa Rica, and even back at NASA, he was always following people around, asking if there was some way he could help. Why doesn't he stop his whining, take a stand, and face up to me?
I think I know how he feels.
And to top it all off, he seems to enjoy referring to himself by that nickname I gave him. I simply don't get it. How can he be so submissive?
So, Huey was a nickname you gave him.
That's right. I took it from the name of a drone in the science fiction film Silent Running.
Drone?
It's a type of worker robot. The way he follows people, just waiting for them to boss him around, is so similar. I couldn't help myself. Oh, it's an American film directed by Douglas Trumbull, the man who did the special effects for 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Imagine that. A scientist who likes science fiction.
And that's not all.
There's more.
He's a man.
Hang on. I seem to remember you saying he should be more of a man.
Yes. Well, he is an awfully good scientist. Without his reptile pod, my mammal pod wouldn't function, just as the cerebrum can't exist without the cerebellum and the brainstem. He did a fine job of designing it. I'll give him that.
Huh. That sounded suspiciously like praise.
It's merely an objective observation. I like people who possess the will to move forward. I have no time for those who refuse to take control of their lives. Until he does, my opinion remains the same.
So, you and Cecile seem to be enjoying yourselves back at that lab.
What are you insinuating? I only kept her because I didn't want our secret to be known.
And the personal baths? You could have left her in there alone and locked the door from the outside.
Yes, well, she seemed anxious, so I...
Now, why would she be anxious?
She was beautiful. I was only admiring her beauty.
She was terrified.
I never meant her any harm. She knew that. I know she did.
But she felt like she was in enough danger to run away.
No matter what I did, if Coltman found her, she would have been... You're right. The truth is, I wanted to save her. But not if it meant forestalling the completion of Mammal.
So you made it easy for her to escape?
Do you really think I am that soft? I'll admit security wasn't exactly tight. It wouldn't have been difficult for her to escape from the building.
Seemed like she had a rougher time after she got out.
At any rate, I never did anything to her to deserve any blame. Is that clear?
Okay. I believe you.
Huey's probably mentioned this, but just to be clear, there's a limit to the parts we can produce here at Mother Base. Therefore, I've built Zeke's AI using memory boards you pulled from other AI weapons.
Will that work?
In the human brain, individual functions are spread across multiple regions. The same is true of AI. Multiple parts sharing the same function interlink to strengthen that function. For example, the more sensor memory boards you have, the greater Zeke's search and detect capabilities will be. Install more movement boards, and you'll increase its mobility.
Meaning the AI's capabilities change depending on how much memory we give it?
Exactly. The more boards you install, the more powerful a function will be.
One day we'll get all the memory boards for Zeke on the complete save. That is a huge grind. But I'm curious to fight Zeke at maximum memory, actually. Okay, so speaking of Huey's letter, we can take a look at it. Text scrolls a little bit too fast to keep up with it and read it out loud with all the correct, punctuation and pauses and stuff. So reading it is a bit of a mess out loud, but there it is. And it's basically just cringe, 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 cringe. Okay, cringe. Okay, now that we cringed at the letter, let's go do one mission and we'll get the tape about having read the letter. Let's see. Zadornov escaped. Chapter 5.
Snake, Zadornov has escaped custody. Find him.
Sully, thank you for gifting a sub to Arrow earlier.
Stealth.
Zadornov. I always say Zadornov. Yes. Because it's funny. Imagine having 5 whole chapters in your game. Alright.
Find Zadornov and bring him back here with Fulton Recovery.
There. Find Zadornov, Snake. Some luck, he'll be in here.
What was that?
Yes. Okay, perfect. First try. Yeah.
Try using Fulton Recovery on him. Head for the recovery zone.
Shot
I'll
that
pick
guy in
you
the
up
leg for nothing.
Mission complete.
And how?
Great job. So, you found me.
It wasn't hard. What are you up to anyway?
Just going for a stroll.
Kaz, I've got Zadornov, returning home.
Acknowledge, Snake. There's something I need to discuss with you, boss.
Get to the point, Kaz.
We recovered the nuclear warhead that was loaded onto Peace Walker from the bottom of Lago Kosibalka.
What?
Warheads are radioactive, even if they're relatively stable. If we just left it there, it would contaminate the lake, or fall into the hands of terrorists.
Creating another crisis.
Right. So while the White House is figuring out how to cover its ass, I thought we'd take some precautions.
What did you have in mind?
Load it onto Zeke.
What?
What else would we do with it? Zeke is our deterrent. To protect ourselves from nuclear attack, we need a nuclear weapon ourselves. Of course, if you're not on board, we could always dispose of it. But it won't be easy getting another nuke. This is a golden opportunity. We could always get rid of it later. Load it onto some fishing boat and leave it out in the middle of the ocean. No one would ever know it's there. But if you want to get rid of it, boss, we'll get rid of it.
No, don't. As long as there are nukes out there, we need one ourselves if we're going to be a world power.
I knew you'd see it that way, boss. So as long as we stand apart from nations, we need something to put us on equal footing. In a way, MSF is a country itself. And we just became the world's 7th nuclear power.
Nuclear power.
And it was at that moment that they fucked up. It's kind of a big decision. Also, Kaz's way of disposing of nuclear weapons. Load it into a fishing boat and leave it in the middle of the ocean. Who needs nuclear disposal sites? Just do that. So yeah, actually that call is a huge part of the reason why I do a new save for a story run, not simply replay all the missions and tapes on a completed save, because you only get that once when you complete Zeke, and then a couple missions after that, the decision to put the nuke on it. And that leads to a whole bunch of things, of course. And now that we have done a mission after reading the letter, we should have... There it is. Well, we'll leave that... Okay, there's Zeke stuff in here. I thought I did this tape.
But you know, there's something I've never been able to figure out. Is the Cold War really a war, or is it really peace?
Doc, what do you...
People called it a Cold War, but I disagreed. Sure, nuclear stockpiles are increasing, threats are multiplying. The US and the Soviet Union have enough power to destroy the human race 100 times over. But nobody's actually being killed. Small-scale conflicts and proxy wars, maybe, but nuclear deterrence has averted another world war. The world's far more peaceful today than it was before, and the breakthroughs we've made in space exploration thanks to Cold War competition? Fantastic, don't you think?
No. We didn't need to rush into space like that. Going into space may have been mankind's dream, but good people were sacrificed in the scramble.
Maybe so. NASA's definitely got some skeletons in its closet.
Same goes for the nuclear arms race. Atomic testing has killed civilians and exposed thousands to radiation.
Believe me, I know. And now, this. What peace was I trying to protect anyway? The more I think about it, the less I understand.
It's kind of fucked up to think that the space race was essentially an arms race as well. Like, oh, if we can go to space, then we can nuke your ass from anywhere in the world. That sucks.
Nuclear deterrence means preventing the use of nuclear weapons in conflicts between states. But what about other situations?
Like what?
Terrorism has been on the rise in recent years, from separatist movements to far-left extremists. What would happen if nuclear weapons fell into terrorists' hands? Without a state, that is, without territory of their own, the chances of having nukes used against them are slim. They have no reason to fear a nuclear strike. Conversely, they have no reason to hesitate to use nukes against their adversaries.
You've got a point. All the ICBMs and strategic bombers in the world amount to nothing against a terrorist group.
Right. Of course, this is all still hypothetical. Countries keep their nukes under tight watch. There's no immediate danger of terrorists getting their hands on them. But the day may come when the proposition of nuclear terrorism makes nuclear deterrence theory a dead letter.
Nuclear terrorism. Interesting.
Yeah, you're gonna do that. You just did that, technically. Okay.
I gotta say, I'm surprised you helped us arm Metal Gear with nukes.
What of it?
Don't get me wrong, I'm grateful and all, but you sure about this? They may be for MSF self-defense, but they're still nukes. It's essentially the same thing as Peace Walker, which you despised.
See, that's exactly it.
What is?
You don't hide your motives. You tell the truth. That's what makes you different from those CIA bastards. They lay on the charm, win you over. And then, when things get hairy, they turn their backs on you.
I'm just telling it like it is.
Which is why I get the feeling that you wouldn't be stupid enough to use them. Okay, I'll come out and say it. I trust you.
You give me too much credit.
You think so? Besides, there's more uses for bipedal locomotion technology than weapons. We make it small enough, and it could have applications in robotics and prosthetic limbs. Maybe one day I'll even be able to walk.
Nice thought.
I want to stand on my own feet, be master of my own fate, and I'll use your strength to help me do it. If you don't mind, of course.
Nah, it's a fair enough deal.
Thanks. People can change, I know. But I trust you, Snake. I trust you to be the guy I know now.
It's perfect. They did this tape right before this one, I trust you. And then, you read my letter. I thought I could trust you. Hey, Jelly Owls, thanks for the 49 months. What's missing here? Oh. Shit, I should have done this before. Oh well, okay.
Did you, give that letter to Dr. Strangelove?
No.
Why not? I gave it to you for a reason. It's highly important information.
Sorry. I didn't exactly have an opportunity to play postman.
Well, next time you see her, you make sure she gets it.
Oh, yeah, sure. Better for you if she doesn't.
Snake!
What?
Tell me you didn't read the letter.
No.
You did!
I mean, you never know what kind of information could affect the outcome of an operation, right? So
you read the letter, after I specifically told you not to.
What do you expect people to do when you tell them not to read something?
I thought I knew you, Snake. I thought I could trust you. But now I see I was wrong.
Look, I'm sorry, but I just don't get what you see in her.
Well, I wouldn't expect a barbarian who opens other people's private correspondence to understand.
Fine then. Deliver it yourself.
Huh? What? No way. I could never...
You've got a long way to go, Huey.
Yeah, this is why he betrays them. You got a long way to go, but I believe in Santa Claus.
Snake, how much do you know about the U.S. Homeland Air Defense Network?
I don't know much about what goes on up in the sky. What I do know is that NORAD tracks Santa Claus on its radar.
Nice one. I didn't know you were a comedian, too.
Huh? No, I'm serious. It's true, NORAD tracks his... Listen to me. Every December they set up a hotline and...
Okay, I get it.
He's real, I tell ya. He used to bring me presents and...
So the story probably goes like this. The boss used to give Snake presents, so he believed in Santa Claus. Then he killed the boss, and he didn't get any more presents since then. And he probably thinks it's because he's on the naughty list now that he killed the boss. So it's even sadder when you think about it. No presents since I killed the boss.
Okay, Snakey. As all good little boys know, keeping tabs on Santa Claus is a very important job for NORAD. But they also have another mission. The one they were created for. And the system they set up for that has been hijacked by Coldman.
You mean Peace Walker's fake data transmissions?
NORAD's early warning system is composed of DSP satellite-mounted infrared sensors and an array of surveillance radar stations across North America. The network sends out warnings to NORAD at Cheyenne Mountain, where the data undergoes human evaluation. Peace Walker, on the other hand, has to make its retaliation decisions autonomously. So it's set up to automatically receive the same data as NORAD through covert channels. Those channels were also used on the test platform to telemeter the AI's decision-making. Peace Walker reversed the system to transmit a fake warning about incoming nuclear missiles outside the usual exercise schedule. I mean, the system could have used better safeguarding. Nobody's going to argue with that. But cracking the AI? That seemed unimaginable. And you can see what happened.
Okay, let's see what's going on now.
How's the Zeke AI different from Peace Walker's?
Zeke's AI isn't a replica of the human thought process. It isn't programmed to make decisions about nuclear retaliation. On the other hand, it is capable of highly independent action in combat when given orders from a pilot. It can protect infantry, destroy the enemy, and, if ordered...
launch a nuke.
Let us hope it never comes to that.
My sentiments exactly.
Jeez, the EVA tapes are such a slog. So there's nothing else going on right now except that this is a doorknob escapes a billion times. Oh yeah, of course. There's this going on. Wait, hold on. If we look at how's there we go, a bunch of Miller tapes.
You know, Snake, you're right. As long as we're soldiers without borders, we're going to be a target. We need our own deterrent.
Yeah, we're going to be stepping into a lot of different conflicts as we roam the world, each one unique, and with its own set of geography, ideologies, and politics. If we're going to intervene in those kinds of situations, we need the threat of a Metal Gear.
Unless we want to end up like Che Guevara did in Bolivia.
Well said. Our army without borders doesn't have a land to call home. We're nomads, wanderers. What we need now is a sheepdog to guard our flock.
Right.
Maybe it's not the way the boss would have gone about it, but there are places in this world that need us, and soldiers that need MSF. And as long as we're needed, we'll keep on moving. Ours is a journey that never ends. We're the real Peace Walkers.
Maybe the boss wouldn't have done it with a nuke. You think?
By the way, Kaz, who do you think's our queen bee?
Good question. I was thinking maybe Paz.
I was thinking Strangelove.
I can see that. Or maybe Cecile.
On second thought, I might go with Amanda.
How about this, Snake? We'll have an army of queen bees.
Sure. Why not?
How long is this game? Depends on how you look at it. But there's a lot of content. We're gonna be skipping some of the grinding for the last ending, but the tapes are really good. Oh man, there's a bunch of stuff now. Wait.
That bit.
Miller's upbringing for some reason is at the end of the game, almost. We had the date with Paz. We have a bunch of stuff, okay.
Amanda, you getting used to Mother Base?
Yes, it is heaven compared to living in the mountains. We are no longer constantly on the run from La Guardia or mercenaries.
Some of the new guys we recruited used to be mercenaries.
We are getting along. It was difficult at first, but once you talk to them, you realize we've got plenty in common.
I see. Good to hear.
We may be enemies, but we are all still human beings. La CIA's soldiers, La Guardia. The same goes for the people of America.
What's gotten into you?
Mi viejo got involved with drugs in order to scrape together money for La Revolucion. He did whatever the KGB said, all for Nicaragua, or so he told himself. But I realize now, in the end, all he did was help poison young people of America.
Yeah.
I have made up my mind. Even when I leave Mother Base and return to La Revolucion, I will never turn to drugs, nor will I look to the KGB for help. If we topple Somoza using the KGB and drug money, we will lose the people's hearts.
So, you're choosing a different path from your father.
I still respect him, but I will not do things the way he did.
Well, I'm sure Chico will be glad to hear that.
Chico is a grown soldier now. I could not face him otherwise.
Well said, Amanda. Those are the words of a true Comandante.
Stop. I was inspired by the greatest Comandante I have ever known. Boss.
What are all these characters in MGSV? What, you don't like Malak? Or the CIA agent? Or the General's number 2? What's wrong with those guys, huh? Man. I'm probably forgetting some, Malak.
Can you believe the CIA and KGB were actually in cahoots?
Never thought I'd see that at the station chief level. but I'd heard stories of operatives in the field being on friendly terms.
Seriously?
Most espionage takes place in political hotspots, as you'd expect, but there aren't that many of those kinds of places, especially in a small country. Hang around long enough, and you're bound to run into fellow spies, like it or not. You start saying hello, and soon enough you're eating dinner together.
Strange bedfellows, huh?
Well, I don't know about that. At any rate, this kind of fiasco is what happens when spies get too familiar. Hard to believe, but some people will betray anyone and anything if it suits their interests.
The strength of human is in its appeal to human emotions, but its weakness is in its susceptibility to those same emotions. That's why the tide in the intelligence world is shifting towards SIGINT, a network of cold, digital data, where feelings are irrelevant. Snake, you got a sec?
What's up?
Prime Minister Gary of Grenada is asking the UN to set up an agency to study the UFO problem.
Grenada? That island in the Caribbean?
He gave the press a bunch of photos. Says they prove the existence of
Chico,
UFOs.
man.
One of them caught my eye.
That's the...
Yep. The weapon Huey called the Chrysalis.
Cuz, this is the photo I gave to Chico. He said something about selling it off as a photo of a UFO.
Looks like it found its way into the pages of a magazine.
But why would the Prime Minister of a country believe tabloid trash like that?
There's been reports all over the Americas of abductions and cattle mutilations lately.
You think that's true?
I think the CIA might be involved.
If they are, then Gary could be.
I know. If he digs too deep, he's gonna get himself into trouble.
But Grenada's right next door to Cuba.
I guess that would make it tough for the CIA to intervene, in a sense.
Upsetting the domestic balance of power could cause it to go red all of a sudden.
True. Well, in any case, it's not like we can do anything about it. Just wanted to let you know.
Gotcha. I'll be careful not to let any more photos leak.
Trash tabloids announcing remakes and stuff.
Hey, Snake, I've been thinking. Maybe Che couldn't find a place for himself outside the battlefield either.
How so?
He led the Cuban Revolution to victory. That's quite an accomplishment. He could have called it quits there and nobody would have blamed him. But he left behind a loving family and a cabinet post to plunge back into the struggle. First in the Congo, then in Bolivia where he met his end.
You're overthinking things. Che went back to the battlefield because he was needed there. Read his farewell letter, then you'll understand.
Some say he was too idealistic to fit in with the government.
Too many scruples, most likely.
Maybe so, but I still can't help thinking the reason you look up to Che is because you see something of yourself in him. You left your country behind and plunged into battle. You wander from one battlefield to another, going wherever you're needed.
Che was a revolutionary as well as a warrior. He took up arms to fight for his beliefs. I don't do what I do for any ideology. I'm a warrior. Nothing more. Nothing less.
Okay, boss. You're right. Just wanted to see how we stacked up against a real hero.
Let's see if anybody gets triggered by this.
March 10th, 1945. 381,300 cluster bombs were dropped on Tokyo. Japanese houses at the time were almost all made of wood. In that single day, a third of Tokyo burned to the ground. My mom lost her family and home in that raid. She had to move to Yokosuka and live with her cousin. The B-29s kept on coming, razing other major cities throughout Japan without mercy. Then, in August, they dropped atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and Japan surrendered to the United States at last. After that, Yokosuka was flooded with American soldiers come to occupy the country. My mother was still in her mid-teens, and she learned from her cousin how to survive in that town, by servicing the troops. That's how she met my father, and how I was born. My father was an officer serving with the government section of Allied GHQ under General Whitney. Whitney was known as MacArthur's shadow, and my father rode his coattails to a pretty high rank. While he was in Japan, he treated my mom like a wife. After he went back to the States, though, she never heard from him. I wasn't born until after he went back. My mom raised me as a single mother. She used the money my father left her to open a shop selling cigarettes and stuff to occupation troops. It was a decent living, but I didn't have citizenship. They're working to change the law now, but Back then, if your father was unknown, you couldn't get onto the Japanese family register. And in Japan, that means you can't be Japanese. So as I watched the American soldiers around town, I said to myself, I'm a son of America, the victor. My hair and eyes were different from the skinny, downtrodden Japanese around me. I told myself I'd leave this country someday and return to my true homeland. When I was around 10 years old, my mom fell ill, pretty much leaving me to run the shop in her place. One day I found a single picture of my father in the back of a drawer in the shop. I'd show it to the American soldiers who came into the store. A few years went by before one of them told me who he was. I know him, that's Miller. I started asking other guys, do you know where Miller is now? Can anybody tell me where Colonel Miller is now? Turns out he'd left the service and was making a living as an instructor for soldiers in Virginia. It was one of his students who finally told me that. I wrote him a letter in English. I'm your son. I want to go to the United States. Day after day I waited. Then just when I was about to give up, the post office delivered my future to the door. My father sent me some money. I thought my dream was going to come true. I was only thinking of myself. So I went to my bedridden mother and convinced her to let me go. My father arranged for a car to pick me up. It was jet black. When the neighborhood kids who'd always made fun of my hair saw it, their jaws practically hit the ground. I put my mom in a hospital and went on my own to America. When I met my father for the first time, he was living alone in a big house. He told me he'd lost his son, his American son, in Vietnam. He showed me a picture of my older brother. I guess that and his divorce left my father feeling lonely, which is probably why he finally took an interest in me. He'd retired from teaching. He was stooped over, could hardly walk, but he gave me two things: the name Miller and money for school. I used it to learn English and then go to college. America was exhausted from years of fighting in Vietnam. They were waging war in a foreign land, while at home, people were screaming for peace. Right after I graduated, I went back to Japan, alone. My father refused to see my mom. It was the first time I'd seen her in years, and she wouldn't even look at me. At first, I thought she was mad at me, but that wasn't it. Disease had taken her mind. A disease she got while she was young and desperate. She didn't even know who I was. I said, Mom, it's me, Kazuhira. As I spoke, the sound of my own voice rang in my ears. Katsuhira, the name my mom gave me. It means peace in Japanese. I was Japanese. At least, I was the son of this tiny Japanese woman. It was then, for the first time, that I understood the reason, the emotion that inspired my mother to give me that name. She'd watched her hometown and family go up in flames. Her body and her mind were ravaged by war. And yet she chose to have a child named Peace, with a man who was once her enemy. Japan lost the war. But what good is war as a measure of a country? Since the war and up until the oil shock last year, Japan's economy has grown every single year. It's on its way to becoming a stronger country than ever. I stayed in Japan and joined the JSDF. I was 22 at the time. I did it to pay our bills. But it wasn't just that. I could have found work anywhere, and I knew it. And still, I couldn't think of anything else to do with myself. 2 years later, I didn't have to worry about Mom's hospital bills anymore. I left the JSDF and went back to the States. My father was already dead and buried. I was told he'd shot himself in the head. America crushed Japan, but it also crushed my father. My American dream was over. After that, I drifted around and, well, you know the rest. GHQ made women like my mother. It made Japan's peace constitution and the JSDF. And it made me. I was spawned by war, but I don't want to die in one. I won't die for a country, and I won't live like a pauper. I won't have my fate decided by some family register. So as long as I stick with you, boss, I've got a good feeling none of that will happen.
Okay, let's see, where do we go from here? The doorknob, date with Paz. Oh, of course, one more, couple Paz tapes. is I guess this will do.
I have a favor to ask you, Snake.
Name it.
I want you to give me a job here. I want to help out.
You sure? You just went through a hell of a time. You should probably take it easy until you're settled.
Thank you. But there must be something I can do. You would not want me near a gun. But I am a decent cook.
Now there's a skill we can use.
Put me on the mess hall team. I think I can handle it. Once I get used to it, I will even add in some Costa Rican recipes.
Sounds like a plan.
Isn't there a tape about her being shocked about the doorknob being KGB? Oh, there it is.
Professor Galvez was a KGB spy? I thought he helped me out of genuine concern for Costa Rica's future.
You didn't know.
How could I? Believe me, Snake. He introduced himself as a peace researcher at the university. He had an office and credentials and everything.
They're masters at creating cover personas. They think of everything. ID papers, jobs, sometimes even families. Don't feel bad you didn't see through it.
But you did?
From the first time we met.
I wish you had told me.
Sorry. I didn't know if it'd be right. You might have gotten mixed up in things you shouldn't.
That is impressive, though. Sizing him up at a single glance.
He reeked.
Reeked?
He had this unmistakable air about him. The air of someone who's been given a mission and will see it through no matter what. Like me. I could just smell it.
That is amazing,
She is
Snake.
laughing under her
I'm
breath.
just kidding. It was his prosthetic hand.
Oh.
Why would a professor from a peace university
They're
need a
just
tool
kidding.
for assassination?
I forgot about this. That's fucking funny because she's, also giving a mission. You're like, what? Alright, now it's gonna suck, but
Tuxedo.
gotta go on a date, and the part that sucks is these. We gotta change all these messages. Probably the most tedious menu in the game. Man. Okay.
Don't die on me.
Just tell her nice things.
I knew you had it in you.
That's what you do. You pick your dialogue choices carefully with a woman
You're pretty good.
when you go on a date. Makes sense, really.
Good work.
What, viewer, are you getting triggered? Surrender. I'll pick up your bones when I'm done.
Good to have you. Box time.
Nah. You have to be extra careful.
I'll be sure to notify your next kid.
I don't have any family.
Peace.
Rocket Piss. Oh, we don't have Rocket Piss yet because we haven't met the doorknob. It's okay, we should have enough.
Kept you waiting, huh?
Jesus, who wants to be in a relationship where you have to pick your words carefully all the time? If you can't be yourself, then fuck it. Let's see.
Not bad.
Where is impressive?
I like it.
And let's Let's see. There should be. Okay, she likes
Sorry,
this. And imagine being in a relationship where you can only communicate using Peace Walker co-ops communications. That's a fun challenge to try for a day or so. I can't find impressive. Where the fuck is it? Oh, I already have it. Burp. Okay. I want to see what she does with this.
Here, use this.
Impressive, thanks, sorry, I like it, not bad. Peace, kept you waiting, huh? Good work, good to have you. I think one of these doesn't work, maybe? I don't know. Box time, family one, meow. These should do. Of course, we'll bring the box. We don't have shit in the save, that's okay.
How's Paz doing?
Okay so far. Still shocked about being lied to by Zadornov, but she's actually getting along great with the crew here at Mother Base.
Really? That's good to hear.
Still, it's gotta be depressing for a girl her age to be cooped up on an offshore plant all day, even if it is only temporary. I bet she'd love it if you took her out somewhere once in a while.
Alright. This is how you start a date. Grab her boob. Oh.
Creep!
Paz! Wait! Paz!
Wait, that's not how it works? I've been doing it my whole life. Thought it worked.
You know, we are finally alone, Snake. Why don't you leave the radio alone for now? You don't want to talk to me? You know, we are finally alone, Snake.
We are finally alone.
Meow. Meow.
Meow. Meow, meow, meow.
Here, use this.
What are you talking about?
Ah, she just has a generic reaction to it.
Impressive.
What? No way!
I just wanted to try something new.
Impressive.
What? No way!
Sorry, I just...
No, it is okay.
Do each of these twice.
Sorry, I just...
No, it is okay.
Thanks.
Yeah!
Thanks.
Yeah!
I like it.
I am so happy!
I like it.
Thanks.
Oh, that kind of stewed already?
Not bad.
Thanks. Peace.
Piss.
Not bad.
Thanks. Peace.
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 Piss. 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 Piss.
Peace.
Peace.
Kept you waiting, huh?
No, it is okay.
Kept you waiting, huh?
No, it is okay.
I'll be sure to notify your next of
I
kin.
don't have any family.
Oops.
Good work.
Good work.
Yeah!
I don't have any family. Good work.
Good work.
Yeah!
Oh, fuck.
Good to have you.
Yeah!
Good to have you.
Yeah!
Oh, man. Hopefully that's still enough.
You're pretty good.
Really? Oh, I am so happy.
You're pretty good.
Really? Oh, I am so happy.
I knew you had it in you.
Thanks. Peace.
I knew you had it in you. I knew you had it in you.
Thanks. Peace.
Don't die on me.
Yeah, I am all right.
Don't die on me.
Yeah, I am all right.
Box time. Box time.
Yeah!
Box time, yeah.
Box time.
Yeah!
Shit, I forgot the camera to check if she's maxed out.
Good to have you.
Thanks.
Did I
Kept you
forget
waiting, huh?
something.
Thanks.
Fuck it, let's see if it works.
Room for one more?
Aha.
I feel a little awkward.
Yep, I'd say it worked. Mission complete, and how? Has affinity 200, that's right. Even with the next of kin message. Nice. Stream date would pass for 11 hours. Jesus. Okay, so now that we did that, now that we S-ranked it, if we go back, this time we'll bring the camera for scientific purposes. After you S-rank your first date, what happens usually? Ah, she gets naked. But of course, makes perfect sense really.
Meow. Meow.
Meow. Meow, meow, meow.
I like it.
I am so happy.
I like it.
Thanks.
Now that seems to count as 2 and 1. Interesting.
Peace.
Peace.
I guess we just need to make her happy for the poses.
Kept you waiting, huh?
No, it is okay.
Peace.
Peace.
Piss.
Peace.
No, you don't understand. You're supposed to look at her. Oh shit! Hold on. You almost. No, no! Don't get in the box yet. You're supposed to look at her peace signs
I never look good in photos.
on her bra. It's hidden Kojima message.
Not bad.
Thanks. Peace.
I knew you had it in you.
Thanks. Peace.
Kept you waiting, huh?
No, it is okay.
You're pretty good.
Really? Oh, I am so happy.
You're pretty good.
Really? Oh, I am so happy.
Good to have you.
Yeah!
Don't die on me.
Yeah, I am alright.
Let's see.
Impressive.
Impressive.
What? No way!
Impressive.
What? No
She
way!
turns around.
Good to have you.
Yeah!
Okay, she might be maxed out now. We're close to it.
I never
Nope,
look good
not
in
yet.
photos.
Thanks. Thanks.
Yeah!
I should change this message. Well,
Sorry, I just...
No, it is okay.
that might be it. The little dances she does there. Is she maxed now?
I feel a little awkward.
There we go. Yeah, she should get down too. She's not following me. She's not getting down. What's wrong?
Sorry, I just...
No, it is okay.
Why is she not following me? God damn it.
Huh?
Box time.
Yeah!
Might be too late, I guess.
I never look good in photos.
Oh shit, now she's not maxed out anymore. Shit, because I punched her.
Good to have you.
Shit, I might have. That might be it.
You're pretty good.
Thanks.
Don't die on me.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I am alright.
Maybe that fixed it.
I knew you had it in you.
Thanks. Peace.
I knew you had it in you.
Thanks.
Good work.
Yeah!
Okay, yeah, then she's maxed out again.
I feel a little awkward.
You might lose affinity, yep. There's a pose that she only
I
does
feel a little
when
awkward.
she's maxed. This one. What did Kojima mean by this?
You're pretty good. I like it.
Where is it?
Impressive. Impressive.
Nah, she's too flat to have
I feel a little awkward.
jiggle physics. Not sure why she's not getting down. Maybe it's before she gets maxed out.
Start talking.
I am not hiding anything from you.
Start talking.
Honest! You have to believe me.
Start talking.
My name is Paz. I love peace.
Start talking.
Honestly,
Start talking.
this hurts. Let me go.
Start talking.
I stole some rations at Mother Base.
Oh fuck.
Wait! Paz!
Alright, we got the same game over again. Touch my food again, I'm telling you. Okay, so for this one, we'll make it a quickie. Actually, first, pick up. And we don't really need him to save, I guess, but whatever.
I'll be sure to notify your next
I
kid.
don't have any family.
Box time!
Yeah! Room for one more?
Aha.
Over already?
I don't have any family. Box time! C rank, -10. Also, when you say that, it loses 20 points, I guess. But more importantly, now that we've done that, every other female character model is naked. So, we've already seen this. See, she's too flat for her tits to jiggle. So no tits jiggling physics. However, everybody else, like Cecile, is naked, and here goes. God, her tits are so much bigger in the cutscene, man. Her 3D model does not make her do her justice. Her tits are much bigger in the cutscene. Come on. So apparently the reason that all these models exist is because there were supposed to be dates with all of them, but they literally run out of space on the disc. So, even Strangelove, man. Zadorno, I want to see Zadorno's in his underwear. Come on. We're missing Amanda. She's still injured. Amanda has a little bit more class. I wonder, do her bandages go away when she's not injured anymore? I think that's it. She's always injured. Where is Huey's 3D naked model, huh? Or, what about him? Anyway, apart from sexually assaulting Paz, there's nothing much else going on Mother Base right now. Apart from the fact that the doorknob keeps escaping. 7 times, in fact. I think now is a pretty good time to switch saves. Alright, so that we don't have to do an ungodly amount of grinding. Let's switch to my more complete save. Man, who gives a shit? Come on, the doorknob escaping 6 times. Okay, come on. And
Snake, the sunsets are so pretty here.
Are you feeling okay, Kaz?
Yeah, I mean, I've got MSF business to think about and all. But sometimes it's nice to just sit and watch the sunset, you know?
Yeah.
Snake, would you be up for going to the coast to watch the sunset? Just the 2 of us?
let's see what we have here.
I love the beach.
Shit, just left that there. We'll bring the liquid magazine for this. Let's see what we have here. I have 2 of these. I want to try something new.
It's not over yet.
Dim, do you know of any interesting ones?
Big Boss!
Is
Victoria o Muerte. Venceremos.
we vomit.
Take cover. I feel the power within me.
Loyal to the end, maybe. If I could fucking find it. I hate how there's no rhyme or reason to these things. I know that they have categories, but holy shit, just do alphabetical order next time. Please.
Sorry, I have to pull out. Loyal to the end, people.
There it is.
I got you covered. They'll never hear me coming.
Yeah, I just want to try a bunch of new ones. Surrender. Sorry, I should have given a warning for that one. I realized after I clicked it. Everybody just woke up. Settle down or surrender. What is it pull for? What? Yeah, right. Well, what do you know? All missions are already unlocked in this save.
Crunch down.
I wonder if he actually does that. Where is surrender? Son of a bitch. Ah, there it is.
Surrender.
Okay, we'll try these. Nice packs.
I've been waiting for you. Maybe we were meant for each other. Nice packs. Take me to heaven, Snake.
Oh my god. Forgot about that one.
I've been waiting for you.
Hey. Headphone warning, I guess. Here it comes. He has pushed back.
Meow.
Oh,
Meow,
fuck. I
meow.
forgot the camera. Never mind. Good morning, Glassy. Did I wake you up with the sound effect? How could I forget the camera? I suppose... I guess the binoculars would be a way to look in first person without them doing the pose. Maybe it's worth taking. I could have switched that message out now that we tried it, but... Just turn up your speakers and point them out the window. And fuck
I've
your
been
neighbors.
Waiting for you.
Holy shit.
Meow. 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 Meow.
Loyal to the end, people.
You're kidding, right?
He likes that.
Loyal to the end, people.
You're kidding, right?
Loyal to the end, people.
All right. Whoa!
I got you covered. I got you covered.
Oh, Snake, you're gonna make me cry.
You'll never hear me coming.
Yeah.
Crouch down.
What's wrong, boss?
Ah, he doesn't actually do that.
I feel the power within me.
Me too, Snake.
I'll pick up your bones when I'm done.
You do that.
Well, let's piss him off a little bit.
Ugh. What's your problem? You looking to get punched? Ugh.
He starts stomping and turning the other
What's
way.
your problem?
And he's pissed off.
You looking to get punched? Ugh. What's your problem? You looking to get punched? Ugh. What's your problem? You looking to get punched?
Oh, he still really likes me because he's following me.
Maybe we were meant for each other.
Sorry, I have to pull out.
That's cold, Snake.
Now he's throwing a tantrum. There you go.
Nice packs.
Sorry, I have to pull out.
That's cold, Snake.
Yeah.
I misjudged you, Snake.
Guys, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Come on! Guys!
Damn, this data's hard.
I've been waiting for you. Ugh! What's your problem? You looking to get punched?
You dish it out. I can take it.
Okay then, here I go.
Holy shit.
Maybe we were meant for each other.
I'll pick up your bones when I'm done.
You do that. Ugh! What's your problem? You looking to get punched? Ugh! What's your problem? You looking to get punched? Ugh! What's your problem? You looking to get punched? Ugh!
Then he should turn the other way. Yeah, fuck off. Leave me alone. Oh, he turns again if you stand in front of him. What? Oh. It's okay, we just do this and he's happy. He reaches out his arm.
Whoa! What's your problem?
Ah, shit. We bumped into him. See his glasses. Let's break his glasses.
Whoa! Okay, whoa!
The sound effect. He's still kind of pissed.
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
Kaz is easy to please. Just beat the fuck out of him. Thanks, Analog.
Whoa! Nice one.
Pat his ass.
It's not over yet.
Yeah, our battle's just getting started.
Oh, nice. He has a unique response to that.
Get inside.
Right.
You dish it out. I can take it.
Okay then, here I go.
I wonder what happens if I try to dodge that. Let's see.
Nice packs.
You dish it out. I can take it.
Okay then, here I go.
Oh, he just punches the air. Okay.
Surrender.
Not gonna happen.
Victoria o muerte.
We can't afford to do that either way.
Victoria o
Nice.
We can't afford to do that either way.
Exquisite, thank you for 103 months. Holy shit.
Big boss.
Vos means you.
Venceremos.
Venceremos!
Yeah, we already did all of them.
Meow. Meow, meow. Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Start talking.
I got nothing to hide.
Start talking.
No skeletons in my closet.
Start talking.
Okay, okay. There's one thing I never told you.
Start talking.
You were always my...
Start talking.
I got nothing to hide.
He never finishes that sentence.
Ooh.
Yeah, he likes that.
Whoa! Ooh.
I'll pick up your bones when I'm done. I'll pick up your bones when I'm done.
You do that.
Alright. Let's put on his song. Wait.
I love you 届いてこの想いきっといつかは叶うよねこんな気持ち切なすぎるの
Take me to heaven, Snake. Make sure you get a good shot of my muscles.
What do you do it? Come on.
Whoa! Make sure you get a good shot of my muscles.
Here we go. You can't dick punch, but you can shoot people in the asshole. It's as close as it gets. Why does
Make
he
sure you get a good shot of my muscles.
MGO2 charm pose. You might remember from yesterday. He has a couple MGS4 references. I guess that's one of them.
Make sure you get a good shot of my muscles.
What is that? Hold on, it gets better.
Make sure you get a good shot of my muscles.
Ooh. Liquid's arm. Liquid salute in MGO. Wait, I guess...
Make sure you get a good shot of my muscles.
There you go, that's the best one. What is... I don't know.
I've been waiting for you. Whoa!
Oh. Okay.
Get inside. Right. Ooh, got room for two? Aha. Glad to be with you, boss.
And that's how it ends. Mission complete, and how? Alright, now we're really just scratching our balls on Mother Base. And the doorknob keeps escaping. She likes to escape a few times. Just a few, yeah.
Snake, Zadornov has escaped custody. Find him. Snake, Zadornov's disappeared from his cell again. Find him. Snake, Zadornov's disappeared from his cell again. Find him. Snake, Zadornov's disappeared again. Get out there and retrieve him.
What?
Snake, Zadornov's escaped custody again. You have to track him down. Snake. Snake, Zadornov's escaped. You have to find him.
Hey, he has 3 plant. Thanks for the 43 months.
Snake, Zadornov's escaped. You have to find him.
This is a doorknob. But what was going on Mother Base meanwhile? Oh man, I haven't even done these in this save.
As of today, I will be living here at Mother Base. Now my real trial begins. Zadornov was paying my room, board, and tuition, but he has since been captured. I told the man that with no more money from the KGB, I could no longer afford school. He bought my story, and when I said I would be willing to work, he took pity on me and let me stay. For some reason, Miller really pled my case. That was helpful, but the man is still a fool. His men are no better. They think their training makes them strong, but that kind of strength is nothing in the face of true power. And better yet, they wait on me hand and foot, believing I am just a schoolgirl. Looks like I won't be working too hard after all. Just today, while scouting out the living quarters, I saw a group of them in the corner of the deck making a fuss. Going over for a look, I saw they were feeding a kitten. A bunch of grown hard men, and they're the ones acting like schoolgirls. Look, isn't he cute? What is wrong with them? Disgusted, I just nodded and smiled. I must stay in character after all. I indulged their chit-chat for a few moments. Then one of them asked me to give the thing a name. They had just taken it from its mother. I named it Nuke. I improvised some nonsense about how our compassion for living things can help prevent wars. The men gave me a little fish. I held it out in my palm and the kitten happily ate it up. What a pathetic, feeble creature, it sickens me. Today, Chico invited me to go fishing with the soldiers. I suppose finding one's own food does have its merit, but I prefer not to be involved in such a degrading task. And their prattling on about fishing being fun is nonsense. I'm not here to find playmates. Nevertheless, distasteful as it was, I went along in order to maintain my cover. Chico thrust a fishing pole into my hands, and we went up onto the deck where several soldiers had gathered. They welcomed us warmly. With so few women aboard Mother Base, I'm treated like a princess. No one suspects I am neither a teenager nor a student. It was nice and sunny, with a gentle breeze and waves. As I cast my line and waited for a bite, the soldiers began to ask me all sorts of questions. As always, I answered according to our predefined scenario, feigning a smile. As I sat there feeding them lies, the fish began to bite, and the soldiers began to focus on their prey. Chico had his bait stolen by a fish, and got so angry that he stood up and nearly fell into the sea. Everybody laughed. It almost made me want to join in too. At some point, I got a bite myself. The instant after I felt that first gentle tug, the fish yanked the line with astonishing strength, and I let out a cry of surprise. I thought he was going to be huge. It was my first time fishing, and I was a bit flustered, so the soldier beside me helped by supporting the pole from behind. "Reel it in," they shouted. I nodded, turning the handle as fast as I could. I wondered what kind of fish lived below the surface, and thought back to the deep sea dives I had to do as part of training. Those were difficult days, but I remember finding the multicolored fish gliding through the water incredibly soothing. After a hard fight, I pulled it up. To my surprise, it wasn't even half a vara, rather anticlimactic. But I wasn't doing it for fun, so I wasn't the least bit disappointed. Nook was hovering nearby with an expectant look on his face, so I gave the fish to him. All in all, a thoroughly wasted day. Preparations are coming along nicely. No one suspects me of being the one to let Zadarnov out of his cell. Today, Amanda and I taught Cecile how to make gallo pinto. It is a simple home-cooked dish consisting of black frijoles mixed with arroz. It is well known throughout Central America, not just in Costa Rica, so it is no surprise that a Nica like Amanda would be good at making it. But I was raised in the States from a very young age, and could hardly even remember my mother's gallo pinto. Having to make chit-chat with that clueless bird lover and the so-called revolutionary was excruciating. And, clueless or not, I will need to be especially careful around Cecile, the one who actually recorded that tape. Thankfully, Miller and his men seemed to believe I mistook the tape I found for one my friend made. In any case, one can never be too careful. Anyway, the three of us minced garlic and herbs, then cooked them in a pot with frijoles we'd soaked overnight. While waiting for them to cook, we sautéed onions and arroz in a frying pan. Cecile worked the frying pan according to Amanda's directions, but seemed a bit glum. She does have a knack for cooking, though. She is French, after all. We added water to the pan and watched the arroz begin to steam. While we waited, Amanda shared memories of her mother with us. They had been separated because of Simosa, but the taste of her mother's cooking was still fresh in her mind. When the frijoles were ready, we drained the water, stir-frying them with the rest of the vegetables. Quite a complicated process for home cooking. Nonetheless, it kept them occupied. The longer we sat and talked, the greater the chance of my arousing their suspicions. With women, it is not enough to just bat your eyelashes and giggle. It takes a lot of effort to divert attention. When the arroz was done cooking, we folded it into the frijoles and added salsa, stirring the mixture as it simmered. At this point, for some reason, the conversation turned to romance. Why does it have to be that way whenever women get together and chat? Cecile fancies herself to be well versed in such matters, and gave Amanda all sorts of advice. It was harmless enough, until, to my irritation, she began pestering me whether there was anybody I liked. Not right now, I said, trying to dodge the question. But she pressed on. It's Snake, isn't it? I gritted my teeth and played it coy. Maybe. Cecile nodded and giggled. He is pretty sexy, isn't he? What a ditz! It's all I can manage to just survive. The thought of romance has never once crossed my mind. I have no interest in that kind of man. Soon enough, a rich aroma began to fill the room. The gallo pinto was ready. Nuke came over and rubbed up against our legs, looking for a handout. Unfortunately, it was not the kind of food a cat would like. We let a few of the soldiers have a bite, and then headed off to the mess hall. The home-cooked flavor we'd achieved was a big hit with the men of MSF. Not that we are trying to impress them or anything. Even I could manage a dish like that. Snake enjoyed it too. Let me make this absolutely clear. I have no interest in that man. Football, or soccer as it is known in the States, is extremely popular here. It has not caught on yet in the US, but it has legions of rabid fans all across Latin America. These fans can get so rowdy that it is commonly believed El Salvador and Honduras went to war in 1969 over scuffles in a soccer match. In reality, tensions between the two countries were already high. The match was merely one of the sparks that set them off. But these people are so passionate about this sport that the story seems plausible. Predictably, many of the soldiers here are fans. They have apparently divided themselves into Costa Rican and Nicaraguan teams and started playing each other. To play, you need a ball and 2 goals. The R&D team built and set up simple goals on the deck. I had absolutely no interest, but Chico insisted that I come and watch. It was not a proper match by any means. The pitch was not even regulation size, but the players and spectators alike got pretty excited. They banged empty cans and shouted cheers through the handmade megaphones. It almost felt like carnival. Huey, the referee, blew a whistle to start the match. The soldiers' training has left them in excellent physical shape, but they lacked the honed skills of professionals and their play was quite rough. Midway through, one of the men collided with another. They started shouting at one another, but Huey stepped in. I thought we had forsaken our countries, become one with the earth, he said, quoting Snake. We are not competing for national pride here, and we are not fighting for the good of any one country. This is not a war. Soccer is a peaceful sport, am I right? The soldiers nodded. They know the pain of war, and they share Snake's vision. Perhaps that is why all this resonates with them. Team Costa Rica was down a man, and somehow I was picked to fill in. Costa Rica had the advantage up until that point. I suppose Huey wanted to keep it balanced. The soldiers agreed with Huey's call. Maybe the Costa Rican players felt an even matchup would be more fun too. I could not be bothered to run at first, but chasing the ball out there in the hot sun, I was soon drenched in sweat. Before long, I found myself actively seeking out the ball, partially out of desperation. I picked up a loose ball deep on the opponent's side of the field. Even though he's Nicaraguan, Chico cheered me on, yelling, "Go for it, shoot!" I launched the ball as hard as I could, only to have it blocked by the keeper. Disappointment only increased my determination. In the end, I didn't score a single goal, and Costa Rica gave up its lead. It was really close, though. We congratulated each other on a good match and sprawled out in the shade on the deck, exhausted. The ocean breeze felt so nice on my sun-soaked body. Nuke came over. It is one of his favorite spots, and stretched out next to me. And together, we watched fluffy white clouds drift lazily across the clear blue sky. It was lovely out today, so I decided to sun myself in a lounge chair up on the deck, when Strangelove came up to
Uh-oh.
me. Despite the heat, she was in her usual long sleeves and pants. I waved at her. She looked away and mumbled, "Hello there. Fancy meeting you here." I asked if she needed anything, feeling her eyes creeping up and down my body like she was savoring it. Finally, she swallowed and said, "You have such beautiful skin." Bewildered, I shook my head and said, "No, not at all. I had heard rumors that she was a lesbian, but she couldn't be after me, could she?" She continued to stare and said, "No, it is beautiful, but you must not let yourself get so tanned." And then she took my hand in hers. "What is wrong with a little son?" I asked, trying to cut the conversation short. But she shook her head violently. "No, you mustn't. A young lady should take better care of her skin." She was acting strangely now, as if aroused. She lectured me on the perils of tanning, how it ages skin, causing wrinkles and spots, and in the worst cases, even skin cancer. I knew already that tanning could cause spots, but I thought only pale-skinned Anglo-Saxons had to deal with that. Having a scientist tell me it causes aging, though, that spooked me a little. If I am to keep playing the teenager, I will have to start paying more attention to my skin. Sensing my anxiety, she took a small tube from her pocket. She said it was the sunscreen she always used. She told me to keep it. I didn't know what to say. I was more than happy to take it, but exactly what were her intentions? Was she merely being nice? Or is she really into me? Either way, there was no reason to refuse, I suppose. I have undergone training. An out-of-shape woman does not pose any real threat to me. Having power means not being afraid. It is the same on a global scale. A country with nukes can dictate terms to a country without them. I thanked her and took the tube. Then she offered to put some on for me. She squirted some lotion onto her fingers and began rolling it into my chest. It happened so suddenly, and I was so taken aback that I did not even think to protest. She caressed my stomach with her long white fingers, then slid them upwards between my bikini-clad breasts. "What? Wait," I sputtered as her moist eyes met mine. She was beautiful. Somehow, I found myself captivated by this woman more than 10 years my elder. "Hold still," she whispered in my ear. I nodded silently, unable to refuse. My body went limp, motionless, as if in a trance. Gently, carefully, she rubbed the lotion all over my entire body. I shouldn't have enjoyed it, and yet I could not help myself. For a moment, I was spellbound. That woman is dangerous. I had better watch myself.
Thanks, Kojima. Remember, this game was made for kids, younger audience. Yeah.
Protecting one's health is an important part of any agent's job. But despite my best efforts, I have caught a cold. Now that I think about it, Mother Base's numbers are on the rise, with soldiers coming from all different places and backgrounds. It is no wonder, then, that sooner or later someone would bring in a virus. That said, what I have got is just a common cold. The medical team said I'd need a few days rest, so I've been restricted to my room and put on bed rest. I thought I'd gotten used to not having anyone around to relate to, but at times like these, being alone is just miserable. All I could do is lay there and stroke Nuke's back, trying to take my mind off how bad I felt. Nuke just sat there, not making a sound. But I did have visitors. Amanda and Chico, Huey, Cecile, Miller, and a few of the soldiers I've become relatively close to. Amanda made me a soup with herbs she said were good for a cold. Miller told me to take it easy. I will sing you a lullaby, he said, then broke out a guitar and sang some incomprehensible song in Japanese. I did not need to understand the lyrics to know he is an awful singer. Then he said, "You know what is good for a cold? Suppositories. Here, I'll show you." He began to take off his pants, so I threw my tissue box at him to make him go away. Then Strangelove showed up, saying she had some miracle Indian cure. "It has got eucalyptus extract," she said. "It works best if you rub it into your chest." And then she tried to take off my nightshirt. I whacked her with my pillow, and I got rid of her. Chico brought me a little flower in a cup. It had been growing in a little bit of earth that probably found its way on board stuck to something else. "I found this on the deck. Here, you can have it." He tried to act nonchalant, but I am pretty sure he's got a crush on me. None of them understand. If they thought these little visits would cheer me up, they were wrong. Tonight, Snake himself came to my room. Like the rest, he believes I am just a schoolgirl and treats me as such. "Why did you abandon your country?" I asked
Yeah, that's
him.
why they fucked in the
"Why
box.
create the MSF?" Of course, I knew the answers already, but I wanted to hear it from him. As I had imagined, he was not exactly forthcoming. All he would say is that his country abandoned him because all he could do was fight, and that is why he needed the MSF, because that is all he is any good for. Then he said, "Fighting is the only thing I understand, but that does not mean I have got a grudge against those who believe in peace. I am not one of them, and I do not believe in peace. Conflict is in man's nature. We fight our enemies in order to survive. Maybe we are not so different after all, he and I. But that is exactly why I'm going to have to kill him, or else he will have to kill me. When I stop and think about this wretched existence, being killed by a man like that suddenly does not seem like such a bad thing." Every month, Mother Base throws a party for all the soldiers whose birthdays fall in that month. There is something strange about a military organization having parties. Really though, it is just an excuse to drink and make noise. It is not easy to get alcohol in a fortress in the middle of the ocean. Most days they are training from dawn till dusk. They do not have time for things like drinking. That is why Snake and Miller came up with the idea, to give everyone a chance to let loose. Obviously, a bunch of boors like that are not going to bother with blowing out candles on a cake. Rather, they sit there in a cloud of cigarette smoke, drink beer, eat meat, tell tasteless jokes, and swap crude insults about one another's hometowns. But it hardly ever breaks out into something serious. They talk up a storm, but they're just having fun. It is funny. You have got members of FSLN rubbing shoulders with the UCLAs, people who once would have considered the other mortal enemies. I wonder if that is what makes Big Boss so popular. In leaving their countries behind, they leave their hatred for other countries too. Miller seemed a little protective of me. "Hope they're not being too crude," he said. But soon enough, he too was drunk. He yelled, "Come here and take a look at the real Kazuhira Miller."
What
then
a time.
dropped his pants and mooned everybody. The other soldiers burst out laughing.
Nice timing.
I have never seen such a crude, ridiculous party before. And yet, all these people, laughing and acting the fool. Is this what they call peace? For some reason, I began to think about all that has happened since I came here. Fishing with Chico, cooking with Amanda and Cecile, playing soccer, having visitors when I caught a cold. When I stop and think about it, my time here has been the most peaceful of my life. But that is about to end. I cannot imagine he will be willing to negotiate. It seems I am to fight the legendary Big Boss. I do not know if I'll be able to beat him,
But if I have to choose between death and defying Cypher, I will gladly choose death. The thought of dying does not scare me. But if I disobey my orders, the fear and despair awaiting me will be far worse than anything I can imagine. It was Cypher who took me in as an orphan, gave me food and a place to live. His orders may have been unreasonable, but I will never repay my debt entirely. It seems I have no choice. I must fight this man. I must fight Snake.
Well, you guys missed the lesbian sunscreen lotion rubbing scene, but you're perfectly in time for the mooning and the naked shower. Oh shit, I don't have... Wait, how the fuck do I have number 10 but not number 8? I'm missing 2 tapes. Good thing we checked. Holy shit. I mean, I could switch saves, but... Hold on. Number 8 is the naked shower scene. The naked shower fight scene. Anyway, Never Comedy, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome on in, everybody. We are just towards the end, Peace Walker, and I'm missing a couple tapes on this save, apparently. So, we'll just go get them real quick. Why not? Oh yeah, that's how I got number 10. Okay. Dim, are you up to do this maybe? Or do the custom weapons have them? No, it's actually funny when you have to fight for the tapes, you know? I can just do the type 2s, right? I don't have to do the custom ones. Just fuck the custom ones, man. I mean, I have everything in the save.
This is a high-risk mission. You'll be facing some powerful opposition, but it's nothing you can't handle. Believe in yourself.
I think the type 2s have them. Or, that's a good question, actually. Now we have to fight for it. Nice. Let's do it. Adds a little bit of spice. Do the whole thing. Okay. Oh yeah, we can do the Chrysalis Easter egg. Let me just do this poopa real quick, find out if the type 2s have them. And host shit, I wasn't planning to host. I just want to see if the type 2s have them. Just let me do it quickly.
Neutralize the pupa AI weapon.
Yet another poopa. Oh shit, too fat. Just get down already.
unlocked memory boards. Pull out the memory boards. All the unlocked boards will...
Finally, these boards will actually go towards completion.
Good. That one's broken! Any boards you remove can be used to build our own AI weapon. Memory boards have different functions according to the icons displayed over... What? What's a tape doing there? If you attack parts on the exterior of the machine, the memory boards that control those parts should light up. You can tell what a memory board does by looking at its color when it lights up.
Oh well. At least we got the tape. There it is, Baz's Diary, Part 8. Now to get Part 9, we'll do the Assassin's Box, right? So do we have to wait to get kidnapped? I don't think I've ever seen it. How does it work? You just get kidnapped and somebody gets below you and you get the prompt? I guess we can do both sides. Okay, Chrysalis, host. Assassin's Box. Do I even have the Assassin's Box in this? Fuck, I don't have it, do I? Wait. Never mind. Okay. Let's do both. I'll get kidnapped and you get kidnapped, I guess. What happens if you don't struggle in the first place? Do you just get shot at repeatedly? Or do you just fall off on your own eventually? I still remember that clip of FIFA getting kidnapped. Can't wait until viewer gets decent internet and can play with us, right? Right? I guess we'll just do it until the kidnappers are deployed. Oh, you need arrow mines. But if we do arrow mines, the kidnappers are gonna get destroyed, most likely.
Good to have you.
Okay. That should do it. There's the kidnappers.
Put up to 2 people inside an assassin's straw box.
Let's see who gets kidnapped first, I guess. I get kidnapped first.
Shake it off, Snake. Don't stop moving.
I'm struggling. Did I get a prompt?
Use the left stick to break free. There's some straw
Yes.
below you. You can dive into him with the axe.
Ah, we got fucking Shrek though. Okay. Oh, so it's the same line. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Try to get kidnapped next, I guess. And get wrecked. Oh, fuck. That didn't even disrupt. This missiles are bullshit. Okay, so it's pretty much the exact same thing they do on the roof, though. Kidnappers. Ah, fuck it. Isn't good enough tracking for this.
Oh no. Destroy its hatch. It's the cylindrical structure. AI pod open. Get inside.
I need backup.
Nice, we even got this strange level. Call for it. The irony of Strangelove telling you to get inside the AI pod.
Pull out all the unlocked memory boards. Pull out the memory boards. All the unlocked boards will have icons over them. Any boards you remove can be used to build our own AI weapon.
Oh shit.
Memory
Oh.
boards have different functions.
Almost I missed it.
What's the tape doing
Oh,
there?
nice. She's
If
unlocking
you
this shit.
attack parts on the exterior of the machine, the memory boards that control those parts should light up. You can tell what a memory board does by looking at its color when it lights up. Forget about any broken boards.
Nice. I mean, she was probably in there to do some sort of maintenance or whatever. Building the units. He locked her in. A fucking bandana helmet. Alright, cool. We got the missing tapes. Let's move on. The doorknob escaped again. Good thing I checked. I guess I haven't used the save for a story run yet. I have all the other ones. Cool. So, where was I?
Juno Miller, Snake's right-hand man, apparently has got at least one serious weakness. He is an insatiable womanizer. He does not bother me, most likely because he considers teenagers off limits. But he has hit on every single one of the few female soldiers here at Mother Base. They ought to be telling him where to stick it, but end up falling for it so easily. I think some of it stems from the fact that he is actually not that bad looking. Anyway, today, that nasty habit got him in trouble. He and Snake got into one of their rare fights, and I was there to see it. They burst out of the showers, completely naked, trading punches. I am no child. The sight of a naked man does not make me blush, but this was something else. Maybe this'll teach you, Snake yelled as he slammed his fists into Miller's chest. I heard later that apparently he'd been two-timing someone, and that same someone had gone to Snake with her troubles. As I see it, it is her own fault for letting herself be deceived like that. If she is too dumb to see through Miller's lies, then she got what she deserved. But this was not the first time it had happened, or the second, and Snake read Miller the riot act. Miller argued back, and what began as a shouting match turned into a fist fight. "You son of a bitch," Miller yelled as he swung. "Not bad," said Snake, smiling, "but not good enough." And then he was back on the offensive. They had already been at it pretty hard in the showers, and their bodies were covered with bruises. Both of these men had been trained for war, their bodies deadly weapons. They were each bleeding from a dozen places. All this from a fist fight. Even so, it was far less gruesome than if they had given it their all. It was obvious that one of them would be dead were they fighting for real. Miller took another swing, yelling, "Try this then!" Snake parried, then responded in kind, but I could tell he was not aiming for anything vital. "You are one tough bastard, boss," Miller muttered. A smile crept across his face as he caught his breath. And then they went right on fighting. Blood and sweat flew off their glistening bodies. It was combat without hatred or hostile intent. I had never seen violence like this before. And yet, it was more than just a friendly tussle. They were utilizing every technique they knew. It was not a sporting match. They were not playing by the rules. How could they keep this up? At last, the two men tired themselves out, and the bizarre scene came to an end. They looked at each other's battered bodies, and then burst out laughing, embracing and congratulating each other on a good fight. It all seemed so idiotic. I still cannot fathom such behavior. But somehow, I got the sense that for all his womanizing, Miller really only trusted one person, and that was Snake. There was no way I could ever come between the two of them, and at that thought, I began to feel as if I had lost. All of Mother Base is preparing for a festival. Since Snake and his soldiers spend so much time fighting, they are setting aside one day a year for peace and relaxation. I do not know all the details, but apparently that is what Snake and Miller decided. These soldiers loved the idea, of course. There is so little fun to be had here that everybody looks forward to events like these. That is all well and good, but somehow I got roped into getting on stage. Come on, we even both have peace in our names, said Miller. And Zadarnov, that old Ruski's name, has something to do with peace too, right? Hey, as long as we're having a day of peace, we ought to get an act together. The Three-Piece Band. I thought he was joking. He then proceeded to share his idea without bothering to check with me. And now, I am slated to sing. Apparently, he had heard me on the deck one day, and since then he's wanted to form a band. Everybody's looking forward to it, so there is no way for me to back out now. I've never done anything like this, but it does feel kind of nice to know that people are looking forward to it. I mean, it cannot be any worse than Miller's singing, but modifications to Zeke are already finalized, and I must complete my mission. Betray Cypher now, and I will face a fate far worse than death. Still, there's no need to put things in motion just yet. What difference would it make to just wait a little while longer? A whole day of peace. The mission can wait until after that. Can it not? I know I am only delaying the inevitable. When the day comes, one of us will have to die. Snake or me. But still, if I could just come up with some way to stall Cypher, at least until our day of peace. When did I start having thoughts like this? My cover is blown. They know nothing of Cypher or my true objective, but they know I am a spy. There is no more time left. I must act now. I must complete my mission. How did it come to this? All I wanted was 3 more days. Just 3. Miller's already finished writing the song. It is called Love Deterrent. It is about a girl who cannot express her true feelings. I have been practicing. I am no pro, but I was pretty sure I would do a decent job. And now this. Cypher found out that Zeke was complete. He must have someone inside Mother Base besides me, spinning his tightly wound web of control, leaving no room for individual will. Typical. When they found out Zeke was complete, I was ordered to execute the operation immediately. If I was going to enjoy just 1 day of peace, I had to ensure the plan could not move forward. I tried to sabotage Zeke. I thought by damaging the drive system, they would have no choice but to delay their plans. I waited until midnight, and then snuck into the hangar. There would be trouble if it looked like sabotage. I selected one of the drive system's load-bearing parts and carefully worked to warp its shape. The leg's drive system requires a high degree of precision to operate. Even the smallest deviation would have done it. Then, Chico walked in. Maybe it was one of those nights where he could not sleep. In any case, he saw me, panicked, and took off running. It would have been easy to kill him, but I could not. I know he likes me. It is not as if I would ever have an interest in a child like him, but I could not pull the trigger. Not at him, not in the back. Will he tell them? Or is there a chance he will keep it a secret? Protect me? No. He knows now. Knows I am not who he thought I was. He ran without even questioning what I was doing. There is no chance he does not know. And soon, all I have built here will end. And if Cypher has another agent among them, if he finds out I tried to sabotage Zeke, this place will no longer be my heaven. Then it is settled. I make my move now. Chico walked in before my sabotage was complete, so Zeke should still be operational. It might not run at full speed or power, but I do not have time to fix that. Without Zeke, I do not have a chance in hell of winning. I must act fast before Chico sounds the alarm. I knew it would come to this. I just did not think it would be so soon. It is time, Zeke. Metal Gear Zeke. Activate.
Fucking Chico, man. Peace Day was only 3 days away. So, I actually really like that acoustic version of Love Deterrence. So, the last Zadornov search mission, which is technically the 7th time that he escapes, you don't get a mission because we don't know where he is. He's actually in Mother Base, because this Mother Base actually has indoor areas you can explore. So he would be at the shooting range. He would be right here.
Commence target practice.
And when you start this, you would hear a little laugh, maybe, and that is a hint that he's around. But that's one of those scenes that only plays once per save when he first escapes. But luckily, this game also has a functional cutscene viewer. So we'll just go here and we will just play it again. But like I said, I really like that version of Love Deterrence. So we're gonna hang out at the shooting range a little bit. And we're gonna do some monkey listening. And just randomly finds a doorknob there. Why not? Let's see. That'll do. Wow, indoor shooting range in Mother Base. So advanced.
Welcome to the shooting range. Just the place for a little target practice, huh? When you're done, head over to the exit.
Let's play it.
Commence target practice.
Aiming is not necessary for this mission. Fuck you, hostage. Hostage targets, different shaped targets, different score depending on where you hit the target. Too advanced. Moving targets. Boss, you fucked up the shooting range. What are you doing? You fucked up the whole shooting lane. Okay, this requires a little bit of LARPing, but just pretends the doorknob's here.
Big boss! My work is done.
What are you talking about?
V for victory! Rocket! Peace!
I found Zadornov. I had to kill him.
Huh. So much for a fugitive.
Something's not right here. I'm thinking he had a friend.
Someone inside MSF. Huh?
What's going on?
It's Zeke. It's moving.
What?
There's somebody inside. I can see them. Snake, get up here. Pronto!
Get down from there before you hurt somebody.
Maybe I want to hurt somebody.
What's going on? She's not herself.
Oh, I am myself, all right. My true self.
Kaz, shut that thing down.
I can't! The controls aren't responding!
Then how's it moving?
I made some modifications. This machine was meant to have a human pilot.
Oh, this one has Peace Walker legs.
Paz, what are you...
Never thought I'd be into machines, huh?
I forgot I have Peace Walker legs.
Zadornov's escape was a diversion.
Paz, what are you doing?
I'm taking it back.
Taking it back? Where?
To our leaders. To Cypher.
Cypher?
This weapon is Cypher's creation.
Paz, get down from there!
Do not call me that. I am Pacifico Ocean.
My name, my age, my mission.
Cypher gave them all to me. My entire life has but one purpose. To carry out Cypher's plan. The nasty tobacco, the angel of peace scrap, the whole teen with a dream routine. I am through with all of it.
Paz, you can't.
I told you not to call me that. It makes me want to puke. Everything has gone exactly as planned. Now the
Real Peace Walker project is finally about to reach its goal.
The real project?
Once upon a time, there were two young men who idolized a hero called the Boss. One day, they suddenly lost the point of origin. This Cypher, that was like a mother to them. Unable to come to terms with their sorrow, they each decided to carry on the will of their hero. But they could not agree on what that meant. In the end, they became bitter enemies,
and the zero from which they both started was split into two. And you have been on the wrong path ever since. There is no happily ever after waiting for you in the end, unless you obey the will of Cypher. Where does an army without borders call home? A state without borders, of course. A world without borders.
A world without borders.
The Cold War order is about to collapse. The age of electronic intelligence is about to begin. The NSA, CSS, NRO, DIA, etc., etc. The intelligence community that has long bickered amongst itself will be united in a world governed by electrons. Cypher will gather all information, watching over the world and guiding the will of its people, all while they remain blissfully unaware. There will be no one to oppose them. For the first time, the world will be ruled by a single will. Until the new order is in place, you and your army will be the force that protects it. You will be Cypher's deterrent, pulling the wool over the eyes of the old order with your charisma and military prowess. Accept our offer, and we will allow you to retain control of MSF and Zeke.
That's an offer.
The boss threw down her gun, and with it, her life's calling. You, her disciple, have never been able to do that. You are too afraid to let go.
I was made to fight. I am a gun.
Is that so? Then what do you call this? Is it a gun too? You are a lousy liar. Admit it. This thing is a monstrosity, a product of your own fear. But not Cypher. Cypher thought of something different. Cypher's going to control guns.
Control guns?
That is right. Not deter, control. It is the ultimate approach to the illusion of peace.
Control power. You're gonna be disappointed.
Then we are done. Thank you for playing. Better luck next time. The offer
is rescinded. And now the ultimatum. Zeke is already in nuclear strike mode.
What?
I'm taking the weapon you built and using it to launch a nuclear strike on the east coast of the United States.
You're insane. What are you after?
But wait, here is your consolation prize. We are about to show the world just how dangerous a gang of outlaws, an army without borders, can be. You and your men will become pariahs, and you will be wiped off the face of the earth. Rather than heroes, you will be seen as a well-armed extremist cult prone to indiscriminate outbursts of nuclear aggression.
You will give rise to a new world order, an age of deterrence defined by its fear of extremist cult influence. Do you like the picture I am painting, Big Boss?
When all is said and done, peace is nothing but a fantasy. A game is a game. You either win or you lose. All you can do is fight. Stop me if you can. The peace sign is the V of victory. Say, peace.
Say piss. That's what she's filling the cockpit with. Piss. Alright, let's do this. Then we got some more tapes, of course. It's kind of sad there's no tapes about it. Well, there's a couple tapes about what happens after. Maybe chaff grenade? Nah, fuck it. Gamer girl cockpit water. That's a good one.
She's gonna launch a nuke. Snake, we've got to stop her. Whatever it takes. Awaiting your orders.
Stop me if you can.
That's right, the radom prevents the chaff from working or something. Which is the exact opposite of what the radom is supposed to be. The radom is supposed to be weak to the chaff. Right.
We've activated the hatches contact. You can use them as long as they're open.
Is that her using the gas mines?
Base's gun platforms to use. The control panel is on the edge of the deck.
You will witness true hell. You will witness true hell.
We'll give her some time, I guess. Ooh, close. There you go. Good thing I brought the M16. Nice, nice. Nope. Oh, she fucked me up, man. Hey,
Are you alright? Snake?
that close range attack hurts. Is it because of the legs? Does it hurt more when she steps nearby? Shit. Hold on, I want to try the Japanese now. I wonder if it does more damage with the Peace Walker legs. I don't remember her running around that much. I think those legs change. Maybe her AI too. When you have the bandana, you have to be careful. It's not over yet. Yeah, sometimes she jumps up there past the railing and gets stuck there. God, if only Kaz would shut the fuck up. It begins. Kaz will not shut the fuck up. Holy shit, I jumped. I swear these legs change things. Up with 116. That's not Paz singing. Shows what you know. That is exactly Paz singing. Her Japanese voice actress is the singer. Oh fuck this. Why did I give her the jetpack? Holy shit. This is canon. Big Boss did it with an M16. When she does that, she gets rid of all the copper on the platform.
No use. Zeke is out of my control. This is where it ends. Listen to me, Big Boss. As long as your army is needed, the world will never know true peace.
The peace you will know will be fleeting, elusive. They will use you, disgrace you, and then finally discard you like they would a cancer to society. This is the path you have chosen.
Who would have thought that little girl was working against us?
Tell me about it. She had everybody fooled, me included. Can't believe I didn't pick up on anything.
Snake, there's no point in beating yourself up over the past. But hey, maybe you should put in some practice against Zeke in case this sort of thing ever happens again. In any case, I need to go talk to Dr. Strangelove. Zeke still isn't ready.
Huey!
We need to get some more work done in this save. We did the biggest one, we did the Foxhound emblem, but now there's everything else.
How's it going? How's Zeke look?
The attitude control AI had a backup, so it should be able to walk.
Really? Oh, that's good.
Beyond that, it's up to the creator. Stop! Don't come any closer, Doctor.
There's something I've been meaning to ask you. Do you despise me?
Doctor, are you asking me out?
No, not at all.
No? Pity. Because I've just had my heart broken by someone else.
What?
I only like those who can stand on their own. If you fancy me, then come walk with me. Who knows what miracles might happen. Love is blind after all. Take your time. I'll be waiting.
That name Paz mentioned at the end, Cipher, it's a code. It means empty. It also means...
Zero.
A world of electronic intelligence, built on codes. And at the center of it all, a zero.
Kaz.
Look, boss. I owe you an apology. Hear me out, okay?
Sure.
I knew Paz and the professor. I knew who they really were all along.
Kaz.
I used them.
I suppose you were the one that brought them to Columbia in the first place, huh?
Guilty as charged. Paz wasn't just CIA, you know. She was working for the KGB, too. And for this Cipher group. In other words, she was a triple agent.
You knew all of this?
Wait, let me finish. Listen. MSF never would have gotten this big if it weren't for them. This mercenary business we built. Someday it's gonna be a new driving force in the world economy.
Is that your goal all along?
The Cold War's not gonna last forever. Sooner or later it's gonna give way to an era of regional conflicts and terrorism. A paradigm shift from counter-communism to counter-terrorism. In the new age, armies won't be tied to states, and war will become a business. We'll be a valuable commodity. There'll be clients all over the world who need our services. MSF is only the beginning. What we're creating here is a revolution in itself. Am I right?
Kaz, it's not going to be that easy.
What do you mean?
This whole Peace Walker thing has left our mark on the history of the Old Order. We've put ourselves on the radar of intelligence agencies and governments east and west. The whole world probably knows about us now.
Including that Cipher outfit.
We've let ourselves interfere with the times, with the Cold War system of deterrence. We're an army without a flag. We weren't supposed to take sides in international affairs, but we did.
I see your point. So what happens to us now?
We'll be hunted.
Not everybody's gonna be happy with us, huh?
You're damn right. We upset the global military balance of power.
And these people would rather our army without borders not exist at all?
They're gonna come knocking real soon. There's no turning back now. We're a wrench in the old system of deterrence. As long as the times refuse to change, we're gonna make a hell of a racket.
Then who are we gonna fight?
The establishment. Anybody who tries to restore the old balance wants to snuff us out of existence.
Which establishment?
It won't be a particular country or ideology that hunts us.
Who then?
We are going to be fighting the biggest beast of all. The Times. 10 years ago, the Times rejected the boss and killed her. And now, we're the ones being tested. Will the Times erase us? Or work with us? It's gonna be a lonely battle. No good or evil. No winners or losers. Business will have to wait. The question we have to ask ourselves now is, can we survive long enough to see the 21st century?
I'm with you, boss. We'll see how it turns out, together.
The hunt is on, Kaz. And the whole world's on our tail. Assemble the men.
dark. Now my words are frosted with every breath. Still the hate burns wild, growing inside this heart. When the wind changes course, when the stars align, I will reach out to you and leave this all behind. When heavens divide. When heavens divide, I will see the choices within my hands. How can we ever protect and fight with our tiny souls? Let me shine like the sun through the doubts and fear. Do you feel the storm approach as the end draws near? When heavens divide, time will come to softly lay me down. Then I can see a face that I long to see. And for you, only you, I would give anything, leaving a trace for love to find a way. When heavens divide. I will dive into the fire, spilling the blood of my desire. The very last time, my name scorched into the sky. When heavens divide, I will see the choices within my hands. How can we ever protect and fight with our tiny
forsake our countries. We will leave our motherlands behind us and become one with this earth. We have no nation, no philosophy, no ideology. We go where we're needed, fighting not for country, not for government, but for ourselves. We need no reason to fight. We fight because we are needed. We will be the deterrent for those with no other recourse. We are soldiers without borders, our purpose defined by the era we live in. We will sometimes have to sell ourselves and services. If the times demand it, we'll be revolutionaries, criminals, terrorists, and yes, we may all be headed straight to hell. But what better place for us than this? It is our only home, our heaven and our hell. This is utter heaven.
Alright, stay tuned for some post-ending tapes. There's always more tapes. Let's see, actually I haven't played tapes in this save yet. Where is it? Shit, I really need to get these tapes out of the way. Where the hell is it? There should be. It's not this one, is it?
What do you think?
No. Shit. Oh, is it because I haven't played them so they're not unlocked? Oh, what a pain in the ass. We might as well get it done now then.
Chico, I heard you saw Paz trying to sabotage Zeke before she activated.
I should have stopped her. If only I hadn't run away. I could have captured her before she got inside. If I'd done that, she'd still be here.
She was carrying a gun. Probably trained to use it too. Don't blame yourself. You couldn't have stopped her anyway. You were unarmed.
I could have at least talked to her. If I'd promised not to tell anyone, Paz wouldn't have gone and done what she did. It's just I was so shocked. I panicked. Ran away.
Chico, when you saw Paz, she was trying to sabotage it, right?
Huh? Well, yeah.
And right after that, she took control of it, tried to make me surrender. Something doesn't add up. Why would she sabotage Zeke when she was about to use it against me?
What?
Her actions were inconsistent. Even for a spy. If she wanted to destroy Zeke, she could have done it and run away. But if her goal was to steal Zeke, she'd have no motive to sabotage it.
I don't know.
Maybe your seeing her caused her to change her plan. I don't get it.
Do you think Paz was planning to double-cross Cypher? Without Zeke, she wouldn't have any way to threaten you.
If that were the case, she could have told me all that from the beginning. She wouldn't have had to try and sabotage it.
I guess so, but that was the day before Peace Day. Paz was going to sing in a band. I couldn't wait to hear her. What if she wasn't going to double-cross them? Maybe she just wanted to at least be able to enjoy that.
Chico.
I knew it! If only I hadn't run away. If I talked to her. Promise I wouldn't tell anybody.
Don't second-guess yourself. Think about who might have been hurt if you kept quiet.
Yeah, but...
Besides, we don't know for sure she's dead. She was ejected into the ocean, and she had scuba equipment with her.
Yeah.
Stop beating yourself up over the past, Chico. Put your hope in the future. The past is the past, but the future is up to you.
Right, boss.
Stop beating your meat over paths, Chico. Okay, so there should be a Miller tape about it, but it's probably not unlocked because I haven't played these. There you go.
Remember that habit Paz had, Snake? How she always had her index finger on her upper lip like this?
Yeah. It bugged me ever since we first met her. Never figured her for a snuff user.
I can't believe we never noticed.
She used the kind where you keep a pouch of leaf in your upper jaw, let it absorb through your gums. She might not have been used to it. Probably used her finger to keep it in place.
How could Paz... We were gonna start a band together.
She was posing as a KGB agent, too.
She must have put on the act to get close to Galvez. Wonder how much Coleman knew. But the whole time she was working for some organization called Cypher.
Cypher? Ring any bells, Kaz?
Cypher. It means code, or zero in Arabic numerals.
Zero.
Does that mean something to you?
Not sure.
You know, Cypher and zero were basically the same word. It's a linguistic redundancy. The word stems from the Sanskrit shunya. It corresponds to the Buddhist concept of emptiness. In Buddhism, shunya means hollow. It supposedly refers to something that's swollen and empty on the inside.
A big swollen emptiness. Just like outer space.
Just like MGSV. But he knows. I think we can play the last. Shit, I don't even need to get all these tapes done on this save. But once you finally do all the side missions, you get this. This is the phone call. The equivalent of the secret phone call that's usually, after the credits in the other games. Big twist.
It's me. Smoothly? Naturally? No. Big Boss doesn't know the truth. No, Langley hasn't decided what to do yet. Their hands are full with their own mess. True. Lubyanka is in the same boat. Yes. Other eyes continue to watch, but no sign of contact so far. Exactly. It's a non-state army to use however they want. They've probably decided there's no sense in wiping them out just yet. Better to make use of them. Indeed they have. There's a site near Angola. And we fully validated the AI as well. Agreed. In the end, a machine is just that. A machine. Sigan was right. It seems it's time for a change in approach. Machines are best suited to specialize in high-level data processing. Yes, of course. Speaking of which, any news on the Suns? 2. Already? Really? But they're strictly an insurance policy, yes? So that's the idea. I wonder how Big Boss will respond. Yes, but I'm only interested in the business angle. Like I said before, I'm neither an enemy nor an ally. I'm merely a business partner. Don't forget it. Yes, I'll be in touch. My dear Zero.
Guy's playing the fiddle for once. That's it. That's the last bit of story bit in Peace Walker. And if you don't do all the side missions, you don't get that.
Someone's planning to extract enemy soldiers via Fulton Recovery. Thwart their attempt by shooting down the balloons. We're calling this the Puyan mission. Support our troops. Shoot those balloons.
Stealth. Only Ground Zeroes had real guns.
So all I have to do here is shoot down the Fulton recovery balloons, right?
Right. And don't shoot the soldier dangling underneath by mistake. I'd go with a sniper rifle, but really any weapon will work as long as you aim carefully.
Balloon popping.
You might get more balloons if you do this one as a co-ops. The, sky's the limit. Look at it this way. It'd get real depressing real quick if every single mission were a bloodbath. It's good to have a nice, relaxing challenge like this once in a while, you know? Oh, come on, don't those Fulton balloons look tasty? Like big, juicy, floating pigs?
Yeah, sure, whatever. So, this is called a Puyan mission. What's that supposed to mean?
When I was a kid, my neighbors had a pet pig they called Puyan. Every time I see a Fulton balloon, it reminds me of that little porker.
Okay, but the objective here is to pop those balloons, right? Doesn't sound like a good idea getting emotionally attached.
Good point. Man, if only those were real pigs dangling from the balloons. Now wouldn't that be something?
Ugh.
Yeah, don't worry, it's not a bloodbath. All those people falling to their death on those balloons. Ah shit, we can only carry one at a time, that's right. I'm actually working on that FIFA, you know? I need to, all you gotta do is emulate it, and then cheat engine the emulator.
Counting on you, boss.
Suddenly, I had a craving for pork.
Hey, Snake, did you know that Yan in Puyan means something like Mr. in the Osaka dialect of Japanese? You stick it on the end of people's names, so you'd be Snei-Yan.
So it's Mr. Pooh.
Hey, Snake.
Suddenly, I had a craving for pork.
Hey, Snake.
Is that it?
Hey, Snake. Did you know that Yan in Puyan means something like Mr. in the Osaka dialect of Japanese? You stick it on the end of people's names, so you'd be Snei-Yan. Head for the recovery zone. We'll pick you up there.
Not yet.
Now you just have to make it to the goal point. Now simply make your way to the recovery zone. Now you just have to make it to the I see you completed your...
That's a barbecue spit. You can use it to roast food, even rations, simply by pressing the action button. To stop roasting, press the action button one more time. Hey, that looks delicious.
Well done, ration. Surprisingly delicious. Makes a revolting ration surprisingly delicious. Let's burn it now.
Hey, your food, it's burning.
Burnt ration. The only thing worse than ration is a burnt ration.
Don't quit your day job.
Rare ration. An already unappetizing creation made worse by being undercooked. Technically, I need to do this for every rank of ration to get all the items insignia. Alright, guys, that's it. Hope you guys enjoy the run. Always good stuff. Peace Walker. There's a lot more that we're not gonna do in one sitting, you know, but I'll come back to the save, do all the other stuff, all the other insignias, items and whatnot, versus ops, all that good stuff. But yeah, we're doing all the games kind of like one per day or so. So tomorrow we'll be doing Ground Zeroes, maybe start the Phantom Stain after that, and that might take a couple days actually. So thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. If you guys want stream notifications, we have Twitter, we have Discord, we have Twitch, but sometimes those notifications fail. So hope to see you guys around tomorrow for Ground Zeroes and stuff. Let's see, should we raid anybody? Oh, cool. Dog is doing MGS2 VR. Cool. I'll be doing some VR too in the next few days. Most likely. Well, we'll be doing a little bit of literally everything that says Metal Gear on it, except Twin Snakes, because fuck Twin Snakes. And that's Raid 3 Dog. Alright, see you guys.